Hi everyone, welcome to part 3 of this video from the Johanna Basford planner and Enchanted Forest. Let's come in closer and have a look at what is left. We have the buildings left, and then I've got to decide whether I'm going to do anything else or not with the picture. Now I think I was moving across, wasn't I, yesterday, so maybe we'll continue with that. It sort of makes logical sense. There we go. So maybe we'll start with these little pillars that are holding up this sort of grassy roof. Maybe I will use the same brown that I did for this piece. I had been considering that yesterday, so maybe we'll just start there. Brown ochre. We've got a little across pieces which make it look a little bit stripy. I might do those in a different colour afterwards. So I hope everyone's well today. I'm very hot and sticky at the moment. It's only 20 to 10, but there's not much breeze in this room. It's usually quite cool, but I just feel a bit warm all of a sudden. But I just drank a cup of coffee. That could be why. Maybe I shouldn't be drinking. Maybe I should get an iced coffee next time. This is the burnt umber. And I'm going to do those little pieces across with this. You don't have to do this as a little fiddly detail, but they're drawn in, so I thought I might as well colour them. There we go. I have got the window behind me open wide. It's cool on the front of the house at the moment. There's a bit of a breeze, which is rather nice. Now we have these star shapes on the building. All the windows are black, which is quite interesting. I'm thinking if I do these really bright and then this a bit darker, it might stand out, which I think is probably the intention. So I'm going to use the Naples yellow for those stars, but I'm going to sharpen it first. Yeah, I went out very early this morning. Well, I say very early. My son left at 8:15. So I left just after him. Last time I went out, I'm wondering whether I'm going to do this colour too. Last time I went out at the same time as him, or before him, my husband had a bit of a panic about him getting off to work and whether I was here and all this sort of thing. Anyway, yeah, so I decided I would avoid that situation and I would go out after when he's left. So I did that. And I popped down the canal path to the supermarket. Luckily it's quite shady along there. This is the Van Dyck brown. I'm going to use it for all these window frames and windowsills, and for the whole edge. There's a sort of dark frame. I haven't decided what colour I'm doing this centre bit yet. But so I saw him off and he was complaining about how cold it was because I had all the doors open. There was a lovely breeze coming through. The sun hadn't come round, and actually it was cloudy first thing. It's supposed to be cloudy till 2 o'clock according to the weather, but I think the weather in our area didn't get the memo because it feels like the clouds have already burnt off. But anyway, I just have to keep remembering that it's going to be cooler than yesterday, and tomorrow it's going to be hugely cooler. So it was 31 yesterday, something like that, 28 today, and then tomorrow 22. Oh. Now, for me, anything over 18 is generally a bit warm, but after such hot days, 22 is going to feel like a luxury. And I don't have to go out in it very much. I can just go out early again like I did today. So, oh, it's going to be lush. So I'm just sort of, I know we shouldn't wish our life away, but I am looking forward to tomorrow when it's cooler. And if I keep that thought in my head, it makes me feel a little bit more positive about the heat, you know. So I'm just blocking these in. They aren't very thick, so there isn't much more I feel what I can do with them. Yeah, I've got a bit of a headache as well from the heat. I have been drinking plenty. It's not dehydration, it's just the heat, you know. But anyway, I've been trying to keep the house cool, and it's not too bad. And it was 23 downstairs. That's the coolest bit of the house. It's like being in a fridge down there. But me and Son are going to try a different technique today. What we've done is we've closed up the sunny side of the house completely, including the vents and everything. What we did yesterday was we left a bit of air, you know, a little gap for air to pass. I don't know why I haven't done that bit yet. To pass in and out, and I think we're just getting hot air in. So we closed up everything, and, you know, windows, vents, curtains, blinds, everything to keep the heat out, and hoping that might work better. Now, I really don't know what colour to do this building, but I've decided let's go for a terracotta-y colour. I want to keep it sort of earthy, I think. Oops, there we go. So let's actually do terracotta, not a terracotta-y type colour, just terracotta. Now I'm going to use little circular movements here because it's quite a big area compared to the rest of the page. It's sort of the biggest area, and I want it to look I want it to look like a sort of render. It doesn't have to be even, but I don't want to see streaky marks, if you understand what I mean. So if I keep it rounded a bit and just try to move around and about. Oh, there's a draft around my feet. Nice. I'm going to take my socks off in a minute, but I won't. I didn't do that yesterday until the evening. It was quite silly, but my feet are actually quite cold. But I can't get my cold feet to spread to the rest of my body. It's like when I used to get all the hot flushes all the time. Not having those has really helped me this summer. When I used to get all the hot flushes, my feet could be absolutely freezing. The hot flush didn't pass down to that part of me. You know, it was just sort of upper sort of face, chest area, torso, I suppose. Anyway, but yes, I had a nice walk to the supermarket. There wasn't that much wildlife around. No pigeons. Yeah, I got woken up by wildlife though again this morning. See, yesterday's video I might have told you about the pigeons making an awful noise in the morning. This morning it was the crows were up really early making a heck of a racket, and then the heron came over. I'm darkening this a little bit. I've decided I want it a bit darker. The heron came over and squawked really loudly, and I think it was almost like it told them to shut up. They went all quiet for a bit, but they soon came back making a noise. So it's lovely living by the water and with lots of trees nearby, but you know, 5 o'clock, come on birds. But of course it's light. And I also had a gap in the curtains because I wanted to let the breeze through, so that didn't help because that woke me up. But I think we've all had a pretty rotten sleep because it was so warm. Hoping tonight it will cool down a bit more at night, but I don't know. But it's going to be cooler tomorrow, as I keep saying. Hooray! There we go. Maybe a bit more. It looks quite clay-like, I think. Now this one, let's move it into the middle. I thought I'd go slightly darker and use the sanguine. But what I'm going to do is do each tile individually. It's going to take a little while, and try to shade them so each one is darker at the top and lighter at the bottom, so they look like they're overlapping little tiles. You could do them different colours if you've got the patience. I'm afraid I don't have the patience for that. Doing this is enough for me to cope with, and I don't know if it's really going to work, but we'll see. It's quite a small space to try and fade that colour, but I'm going to give it a go. Yeah, so along the canal path there was no ducks, nothing like that. There were pigeons. I saw a very pretty sparrow. I saw a tiny bird just flutter away. I don't know what it was. Might have been a wren, but there wasn't a lot. I saw people on bikes, people walking. Quite a lot of people. Again, no dog walkers this morning. Was quite interesting. Oh, there was one. She let a dog off the lead. I remember that. Because you're not allowed to have your dogs off the lead on the canal path, but people just do. And I don't say anything really. I've tried, and people get cross and go, well, there's no sign. So I just leave it. It's just easier. Anyway, yeah, I saw a couple of people at the supermarket that I had a quick chat to as well. In fact, I had 3 people I chatted to, all saying it was too hot. We're never happy in this country, are we? We're either complaining it's too hot, it's too wet, it's too cold. But British people talk about the weather all the time. I think it's because it's so changeable. It's quite good small talk. Because it affects everybody. I think that's why it makes good small talk. And everyone's got an opinion on it, and it isn't controversial. You know, if someone says they like the heat, even if you don't, it's not like you're going to go, ah, you know. But yeah, there's lots of other topics that could create a lot of, you know, heated discussion, but weather doesn't normally. My sister's staying at my mum's at the moment, and I was saying, you wait, it's going to be so hot, because she's come down from up north where it's a bit cooler. She said, oh, it'd be fine, we like the heat. Oh my goodness, yesterday she complained. She was worse than me at complaining at how hot it was, because my parents' house is always hot. They have cavity wall insulation, which apparently keeps the house cooler, but it doesn't seem to. And my parents don't like too much breeze. It gets on their nerves. I can understand it does me too, but if it cools me, then I can put up with it. But my paper's been blowing everywhere. My swatch charts, don't like it. That's why I don't like a fan, because it just blows everything around the room. But anyway, yes, she was going, it's 9:30 and it's still hot. She went for a walk to cool off. And of course then had to go back into the house, which was hot. So, but yeah, my parents' house is always hot. They like it hot, so it's good most of the time. But when it gets this hot, although I think my dad's okay with it, he probably would go, well, it was just comfortable. But my mum finds it, struggles with it. He was out walking yesterday at, what time was it, about 4 o'clock, when it was like the hottest temperature. I said to my sister, they need to look after themselves. You know, older people can be more vulnerable when it comes to, excuse me, hot temperatures. Sorry, I'm just wiping my nose. We're going to do the outside of this. There's this little frame. I'm just grabbed a nougat. I'm just going to do it in that. Yeah, they need to be careful, but my sister, he was fine. He bought an ice cream on his way home. Okay. There we go. My son hasn't got a driving lesson this week. This hut. Now, what colour should we do the sort of render on that? I mean, you could keep them all the same and do them all in the terracotta. Yeah, I think I might do that actually. It might look quite nice and it'll save me trying to fumble around with lots of different colours. Now this is a rounded building, so we need more colour here on the edge. So I'm going to layer it up a bit and then fade it towards the centre. But yeah, my dad's got poor circulation, so he doesn't feel the cold. His feet are always cold like mine. I've always had cold feet, as long as I can remember. And one of my sons is the same. Roof. See, this roof is camouflage, isn't it, into the leaves? But these roofs, maybe I'll do the other buildings while I'm thinking about the roof, because if I'm gonna do them all the same colour, I know what I'm doing. So let's do this little one here, very similar to this one. They've got little holes like they're bird houses. It's interesting, maybe they are. I'm cooling down now. It must have been my cup of coffee that made me so hot. I shall have to be a bit more careful and have some iced green tea, or actually I could put some green tea in the fridge, what I like to do, brew a green tea and then just pop it in the fridge, have iced tea. Because proper iced tea is just like full of sugar and flavourings and syrups, and so I don't drink that. But just tea that's been iced could be quite nice. Well, I won't need to have ice in it if it's been in the fridge, but now we do this little bird box. Just notice there's a bit of wood there that should probably have been done in that colour, but I don't remember what colour that was. I shall have to guess. Probably the brown ochre. I think it is. Now, I've got to think about what's going on. Now that's a roof. Can you see that in shot? Yeah. So that's a roof, but this is a wall here, I think, here. And then the same on this side. I think that bit above the door could be a window. So I'm going to do this bit. Yeah, there was a nasty incident in town, and a lot of the roads were shut today. And my husband wasn't in a rush to leave because he was worrying about the traffic. Because there's basically really only one way he could get out from here, and all the traffic was being diverted that way, so he knew it'd be busy. And of course, and that particular road is bad for people parking on one side, so you can't get round very well, and there'll be traffic coming in that way as well as out that way, because both sides of the road were closed for traffic. On the main route it's all a bit messy, but now see, these dots are interesting, aren't they? Now we've got this bit here. I'm not sure, because we have this sort of string with something hanging, but do we do this as if it's this colour? I'm not sure. I'm going to do those wooden bits. Have we got the brown ochre? We do. So here's our brown ochre, and I'm going to do like this bit. This bit looks like it should be wood, so I'm going to do that bit, and the bit underneath, and this bit. I think that's I'm going to do as a roof. I do the door in this colour because it looks wooden. Get a lot of noise outside. Yeah, so one of the ladies in the supermarket was saying that I'm going to use the nougat for the door frames and bits and pieces, not the roof. We'll do the roof in a minute. So around here really. I'm going to sharpen it actually. She said her nephew or something is working at Wimbledon this week, so that was exciting. She said for me to look out for him when I'm watching it on telly. He holds the umbrella up over the players. So that's a pretty cool job, I was thinking. I mean, it's not very nice in the really hot sun, because although while you're holding the umbrella up, you can stand under the shade of it. When you're not doing that, because it only happens when they sit down at the change of ends. When you're not doing that, you're sitting in the sun, but you get to watch all the match. So, and she said he gets quite well paid for it as well. She also said he's okay with the heat, he likes it, so he copes. So that's interesting. Some people do, don't they? Also, a lot of people thinking that we're a bit pathetic here in the UK, complaining about this bit of heat, but we're just not used to it. Now, the windows. Oh, they've got these frames up here. Hang on. They've we go. Do you like my noise? Yeah, I saw someone else at Waitrose, my plumber actually. He was telling me how his sons struggle with their work and how it's quite stressful for him. They're as he's saying, they're teachers, so they have a really stressful job. But they like it, but it's hard. I'm going to do this bit too. And do those dots a bit darker. Now this here, you might wonder what this is. If you don't have the original Enchanted Forest book, I'm going to do these in this colour, because that's what I did at the top of this here. We had these sorts of shapes and I just did them in this brown, so that's what I'm going to do here. If you haven't got the original Enchanted Forest book, you might not know what that is. Basically the book is like a treasure hunt. Let's come out a tad and think about these roofs. And I might go for a sepia, you know, a dark sepia. I haven't swapped it yet. I need to swap it for a bigger one. So Enchanted Forest is a treasure hunt, and you're supposed to find all the symbols which are used to unlock the gate to find out what it is in the centre of the forest. And whether you've if you haven't got the book, you won't know, but that's one of those keys. It's quite fun. Apparently there's a treasure hunt element to Johanna's new book. She hasn't done one like that for a while, so I think that's fun. I'm trying to do this bit a little bit lighter than the edge, so it looks a bit different. And the same here, like this roof, I'm going to do all the same lightish colouring, and then where we've got this sort of pattern drawn on it, we'll do a darker bit. You'll see in a minute. So keep it light to start with. But yes, I'm looking forward to the new book, of course. Someone asked me who my favourite illustrator is. I think it's quite obvious. I just find Johanna's mainly so easy to colour, because her style is so familiar to me, even though she draws different things and different shapes, and you know, her drawing has evolved, and actually I feel like her pictures become easier to colour because she keeps the colourist in mind and feedback and things like that, so that helps really, because she sort of like she's made changes such as around that window. I think I need the nougat. Such as not taking her pictures into the spine of the book, not doing too many little ickle details. What did I use that for? Oh, the stars. I think I'm going to use a proper yellow for our sorry, I just touched my mic. I hope it didn't make a horrible noise. I'm going to use the light cadmium yellow for these windows. I'm not pressing too hard because I need to do something with those circles. There's a dog. Can you hear a dog barking? It's actually out the back. I can hear it through the window. The open window is on the front. Sometimes it's a bit hard to tell. Now, I've forgotten to do that roof. I'll do that in a minute. I'm going to do the background of this in this yellow. I don't know why. Sometimes I try and hide them. Sometimes I try and make them stand out. I just have a bit of fun with it. It depends what sort of mood I'm in. So back to our dark sepia, just to do this. Like that. This little bit of string / rope I'm going to use, trying to find the right colour. I think the light yellow ochre. It's really narrow. Maybe that should be brown really, but never mind. Now the little gemstone I'm going to do in sanguine, but I'm going to do it, try and make it look a bit shiny. That didn't work at all. It's the wrong sort of colour. It's quite deep and dark. Now let me have a little look. Right, I've missed another roof. Did you spot it? This one. I think I'm there. I'm going to come out and look. Now, there are different options here now. So, I could take a green pastel and go all over the bits that have been not coloured, the gaps. Do it over the whole background, do some blue, whatever. What I think it needs, coming out and looking, this bit just stands out as not being quite right. So I'm going to come back in and just do a bit of fiddle-faddling there before I finish. Now what I want is the colour I use for the background here, which I think was the permanent green olive. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to sort of colour a little bit in the gaps, like Johanna has drawn around the edge and left sort of white. That's what I'm going to try and do. Maybe only around the main edge, like that. So maybe we'll go right up to that. Oh, she's gone around the leaves as well. I can't, there's too many details to go around. Do it how you think it's going to work. I'm going to leave just a gap around the edge, I think, like there. And she's left it around every leaf. Do it around the edge of there. Now here I'm just going to do a bit in each space. Now you could go right up to the edge if you don't think you can draw it. I can't draw it, but I'm just doing my best. I'm just showing you. It's not very neat. And I might end up just thinking, I'll just fill it all in. But I'll just see how it goes. And that bit in there. Oh, and that bit. Let's see. I think that works just about okay. Particularly if I come out here. Sorry, I went in then instead of out. Yeah, that's better. We haven't got this sort of big gaping white gap in the middle, which just didn't sit right for me. So I'm going to leave it there. I think if I was going to put a background on there, I would use a much lighter yellowy green, like a yellow chartreuse type shade. I don't have that in my pastels. If you want, you can combine, you can mix pastels on the page like you do with pencils. So you could put a yellow down first, and what you might find is that this green will smudge into it anyway, so you won't need to merge any green in it. So that's something you could try, but I think I'm happy with leaving it like that. So that's what I'm going to do. So thank you for watching and being patient. It's taken quite a while, hasn't it? 3 sessions, but yes, I hope you have a super day. Stay cool. If it's hot, might not be. Might need to stay warm, who knows. Anyway, have a good day and happy colouring.